Why is Fortnite no builds better than builds? Well, it starts off with one simple way of why I made this. Because my cousin and my cousin's friend wanted me to publish a video of why Fortnite no builds shouldn't not be a thing. And they say that it's the worst season ever in Fortnite. But today, we are not going to do that. We're going to be talking about why Fortnite builds has rose as grace of God himself in Epic Games to save Fortnite. When you're probably going to write in the comments section like, oh, Fortnite builds is better. There is no skill at all in Fortnite builds. And also, Fortnite builds is just you climbing up and jumping and just spraying them with a combat SMG and boom, you win the game. Or you just bush camp. That is good reason. But Fortnite does have strategy to no builds. And you're like, you take high ground on those players. You have to take high ground. There's one. Two, you have to look around the map of where cover is. So you could hide into the cover and heal or do something. And also, you have to shoot the cover. And it specifically, what weapon? That's your decision. It's not my decision. It's not my decision at all. People say that Fortnite builds suck because there is no strat. There you go. 3 reasons. Those are 3 strats. Does builds have strats? Yes, absolutely. But why do I say that Fortnite builds is better than builds? Is because of this one simple reason. In no builds, you don't need to sweat 10 hours a day in creative to do this at all. It is so annoying that I have to go against PC players when Fortnite could just make PC players go against PC players, controller players go against controller players, etc. And when you have PC players in a lobby with controller, it depends on who the party leader is. And also, you're not allowed to play with PC and controller players, which just makes that all more confusing. So why do I... Because PC players, in my opinion, ruin Fortnite because they could just crank 90s like it's nothing. They could crank edits like it's nothing. You kind of get what I mean here. Unless you are out of your mind and saying that Fortnite builds has... You guys can't summarize the reason that PC players are way better than controller players. You cannot give me a single reason why controller players are better than PC players, and you're not going to expect me to laugh or just totally disagree over it. And I was laughing at them because literally Cyber PK himself has said that Fortnite builds is dying because of Fortnite bow builds. And Fortnite is killing themselves if they remove Fortnite no builds. Because that's how people are coming back to the game. Because people love Fortnite no builds. And plus, if Fortnite no builds was removed, a ton of people won't be as happy as, like me, for example, been when Fortnite no builds has been around. If Fortnite builds was removed, it would be sad for me still. Because I still like builds. While Trey, on the other hand, thinks that builds is significantly better and no builds is bad in every direction. Well, if Fortnite no builds is bad in every direction, why do you still play it? I don't know. Here, that's the point here. What if you say that Fortnite builds is way better? You could sum it down in your comment section and talk about Fortnite builds is better. Fortnite builds is better because it is this and because it's that. I don't care. Let me explain why Fortnite builds is bad before we talk about more stuff about Fortnite no builds is actually good. Start off with skill-based matchmaking. Now you're like, what? Skill-based matchmaking is its own thing. Well, let me explain something perfectly. Fortnite builds. Skill-based matchmaking ruined it. If bots, let's say, were in builds, I would say it's better, for sure. But let me explain something perfectly. Fortnite skill-based matchmaking ruined builds in so many different directions because a PC literally were just sweating hard as you can in different directions. Like literally, they can literally 1 second break a wall and placed it down, and then the next second you would be dead and going to return to the lobby because of these PC players. PC players are so annoying in different directions. Heck, even controller players have been getting buffs with edits and stuff, which makes them have even better abilities to edit and build, which makes the game feel so like if you don't grind in creative to know how builds function, you're gonna have a rough time in Fortnite builds, which is why, in my opinion, Fortnite no builds is such a fun mode. It's because you don't have to grind in games. Is skill-based matchmaking still ruining no builds? I think it makes more sense in no builds than in builds. Because Fortnite builds takes a lot of effort, and do I want to spend most of my life just grinding in Fortnite when there is no point of going to? No. You kind of get the argument here. Fortnite builds does not have to cause you to grind. You just need aim, knowing where you're going, and have high ground. Which why makes Fortnite no build so obsessed to my opinion. You guys could throw dislikes or bad comments about it, but you're gonna not convince me that Fortnite builds is not better than Fortnite no builds. Because I play, like, how many times have I played builds this season? I think around 1, 2, 3, 4 times in my entire life. And what made the argument here is when I was playing Arena with my cousin. Because playing Arena with my cousin made sure of why I hated it in the first place. And guess what? I was making a complaint about builds before Fortnite no builds was even a thing. Back in Chapter 2, Season 8. When the first time I was introduced to PC players. And I said Fortnite builds is broken. And if, let's say, Fortnite builds was nerfed to the point where the builds take slightly more less, I wouldn't really care. But the thing that I've been asking Epic to do so hard is just to nerf PC. Like, give them higher ping or something. Because it's so unfair to see that controller players are just getting dupied on, while PC players are really good. Take this, for example. Scope, which is one of the best controller players of all time, goes against Cyber PK, who's not even the best PC player. Who wins? Of course, Cyber PK. That's kind of... Here's what I mean about why Fortnite builds needs to not exist. Because Fortnite no builds gives controller players a chance to finally, has somewhat competition against PC players like Cyber PK. You guys can forever say that Fortnite builds is not the best over against no builds, or say no builds is not the best to compare to builds. But in my opinion, Fortnite no builds is so fun because you can literally... And also, why is Fortnite builds fun? Because you guys are like, why have you not made a ton of reasons about that yet? Because it's not based on how do you flex. It's based on what weapons do you have, and how do you like move and stuff? Because moving around is probably one of the most important things to do in the game. Like, you have to sprint, you got to meditate, you have to slide. Like, you have to do all of this stuff to make sure that you can get a win. If you think that Fortnite No Builds has no skill, you're sadly mistaken. Because your boy Brenton can give you reasons of why Fortnite No Builds does have skill. And plus, if Fortnite No Builds had no skill, you just have to. So here's what I'm trying to say. Let's say Fortnite No Builds had no skill. You just upgrade a gold combat SMG and spray it on everyone and win a game. Is that really how Fortnite No Builds work? No. And yet, there is still skill. Like, there's always skill into something. You can't say that skill is not a thing, because in every game, there is skill. Minecraft, you have to build stuff, but you have to use your imagination to build the house. That's a piece of skill. Call of Duty, you need to look for cover and need to know what weapon is the best. That's skill. Zombies, for example, you have to make sure you don't get hit by the zombies. That's skill. And you also have to make sure that you hit headshots in zombies. That's skill as well. Which is why boss zombies are a thing, because it changes up the style of the game. And why am I so obsessed with Call of Duty is because of zombies is a thing. If zombies wasn't a thing, I would still enjoy the game either way with MP, but it would hurt me a lot more than it hurts me if MP was removed or Fortnite was removed or something. So, yeah. And take Madden, for instance, as well. Madden has a ton of skill. Yet, I bet you there are some people out there that say, Madden has no skill. It really does, though. You have the user around. Like, I bet you even your favorite games has skill. Like, Apex has skill. Because you have to, like, figure out what weapon is the best. And what attachments. And what you should have. Like, whatever your game you're playing has to involve with skill. Tell me one game that does not have skill. You can't, because every game has to involve with skill. If there's no skill in the game, it's not a game, because it's literally just pointless. But Fortnite No Builds has skill for that reason alone. You have to find out what is the best weapons. That's a skill. You have to look for cover around the map. That's a skill. Looking for high ground is a skill. It's kind of like you have to see, like, skill is where you use your noggin to, like, do stuff. Like, you're telling me that if you could just stand still in a bush the entire game, you would win. Where are your weapons? Where are your heals? Where is all of that stuff? Like, you could just use a saw to chop through the bush and then you die. It's kind of plain and simple to say that if you're in a bush, you can't win a game. Because you could die in simple directions. You could just get sprayed in the bush. You could get shotgunned in the face in the bush out of nowhere. You kind of get what I mean? Like, you can't just camp in a bush and win. You also can't just... You have to play strategically in the game. You can't just automatically push someone because you knocked one. You can't do that. Well, for builds, for instance. You also... Like, what I love that they introduced it into this mode is Overshield. Overshield makes the game so much more entertaining and fun. Which... Overshield wasn't a thing. Yeah, I totally agree. If they took one of these things out of the game, Fortnite builds would be better. But since with Fortnite new mechanics, it made no build so much more fun to play. But people always say that Fortnite builds is so much more better, but aren't you guys not that happy about Fortnite builds? Like, seriously. When I was playing Fortnite no builds for 9 days till the beginning of Chapter 3 Season 2, and when I went back on builds, and I'm like, damn. This sucks. It really does. Like, I know I got to win right when I just played back on builds, but it was because I warmed up. And also, that's another thing about Fortnite builds. You have to warm up to win a game. You can't just go into a game like it's nothing. Fortnite no builds, you also, like, you don't need to warm up and get into a game. Because I certainly have seen that before. I mean, have you sometimes literally win a game right after, like, let's say you were off the game after 3 days? Yes, I have. But it's luck and effort to put into your, like, game, and also luckiness is a main part of that. Fortnite no builds is significantly better in so many different directions, and I love the fact that Fortnite no builds removed a lot of stuff this season that were an issue with Fortnite no builds. Mainly not just builds on its own, because when you think about it, tanks weren't really a big of an issue in this mode when you think about it. Armored battle buses could have been an issue, but again, like I said, it's kind of only armored battle buses. So shotguns had a big issue in that mode. Sniper, not really, I guess. It was kind of not really even either way, but, like, you kind of get what I mean. Most of it was mainly just because of Fortnite no builds. Not because of builds. Because Epic is knowing that, oh, maybe Fortnite no builds should be our point of focus to get more players to play our game. I mean, if they can't have anybody to play in China, well then, for sure, we are just like, there's no way you could reach to the max of players. But you could still at least get more players to play the game on, like, US or something like that. But that is going to be it for the video, and I just want to say, Fortnite no builds is so better, and I hope you guys can notice it. Give it a chance.